All right. Hello, everybody. I got a great video for you today, and I'm so excited that you're here. Today, we are going to be talking about how to control the mind, the melon, the noggin, the brain. Okay. This is pretty profound stuff. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. Please like, share, comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. There's a few different ways for us to really go about controlling the mind. All right. First, we have to acknowledge that we all have thoughts. We have our mind, we have these thoughts. These thoughts are always coming in. We've got worries, fears, thoughts. We're hungry, we're thinking about lunch. And there's a big epidemic, I feel like, of people being way overstimulated, bombarded with information, and just not having any clarity of your mind. So we are really going to talk about how to take control of our mind, of our thoughts, of our feelings, so we can become the best version of ourselves, but also so that we can really take control of our lives, so that we can just do what needs to get done as opposed to getting swept up in all the emotions and getting distracted constantly. Originally, I thought meditation, breathing exercises, I thought that this is how you can take control of the mind. And then I realized that those are just taking control of the symptoms, right? Because as soon as you stop meditating, as soon as you stop your breathing exercise, the mind takes back control. The mind will take back over. So you'll have these moments of clarity. And yes, breathing exercises and meditation is incredibly important. But again, it is just treating the symptoms. So we have to take control of the source. We have to take control of who we are, all right? Not just our minds. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to separate the mind from the self. This is the key, okay? But first, let's talk about this. So your thoughts are pretty much your reality. Your thoughts control your mind, and your thoughts are your reality. If you can control your mind, if you can control your thoughts, you can control your reality. The biggest failure that people have in their entire lives, okay, it doesn't come from the thoughts, the fears, the doubts, the worries. It comes from identifying with the thoughts, the fears, the worries. Our lives go up, our lives go down, and we identify with what is happening. So when we are at the top of the top, we identify and we love it, and we think that that's who we are. And then when life goes back down to shit, we identify with that, and we think that's where we are, forgetting what it felt like when we were at the top, which was, just a few years ago or whatever it was. And we identify with these different peaks, with these different mountains and valleys, as opposed to understanding that we are who we are. We are separated from the world. All right, there's actually a really great story about Ulysses S Grant. He was a general in the war, in the I think it was a war with Mexico, I believe. He was a general or a really high-ranking official, and he was the absolute best leader in that war. He won the war, and then through some trials and tribulations, I'm not exactly sure what happened, he went back and he ended up selling firewood with his father on the side of the road because they were struggling financially. And one of his soldiers saw him and asked, Ulysses S Grant, what are you doing here? And Ulysses S Grant, he says, I'm solving poverty. He never once, and then after that, he went on to become a general of the Civil War, or general of another war, and won that war and became a highly distinguished president of the United States and is now on the $50 bill. And he never identified with that moment. He just told the guy, look, I'm just solving for poverty. This is what I have to do now. I'm still the fucking baddest motherfucker in the world. I just got to sell some firewood right now. And that didn't sway who he was inside, is what I'm trying to get at. But this identification thing is so key. If we identify with our lives when we are shit, then we will continue to play these loops in our mind that we are shit and that this is our reality and this is where we're at right now, just completely forgetting that we probably had a really huge high and we were like a totally different person a little while ago, and not understanding that we can be whoever we want to be and we can feel however we want to feel at any moment, okay? But these are some keys to taking control of your mind, okay? So But do not identify with your thoughts. Don't identify with your feelings. The way that we have to break away from this is I want you to picture a circle. And inside this circle right now is the mind and the self, right? We consider ourselves to be the same thing, and the mind and the self are always getting bombarded by thoughts, feelings, emotions, worries, fear. And once we realize, no. The mind is separate from the self. And the way that we can do that is we ask this profound question. We say, to whom does this thought arise? And then we can treat the source. Remember how I talked about how meditation and breathing exercises, these are treating the symptoms, right? But if we can just figure out where these thoughts are coming from and we nip them in the butt right at the beginning, or not even grab onto them, we can take control of our lives. We can see through the filter. We can see through the distractions. We can see through the bullshit thoughts that we have and realize, to whom does this thought arise? So if I have a worry about some bills, if I have worry about bills and I feel it inside of me, I say, to whom does this arise? And I know everything's going to be fine. I don't need to think about these thoughts. I don't need to worry about it. I can just go and do the work that I need to do to pay the bills, as opposed to grabbing onto that emotion, letting it take my chemicals in my brain for a ride into shit, and then I'll project more worry and more fears because I'll get into a habit loop of creating worries and fears in my mind because that's our normal reality. Instead, I can detach myself and I can say, to whom do these thoughts arise? As soon as you realize that you can disconnect the self from the mind, from the thoughts, from the feelings, and you can just be a spectator and you can watch life. This is how you can start to take control of your life. This is how you can take control of your mind. And you have to work at this. You have to build a relationship with yourself, disconnecting from the mind. Because once you can do this, you can take control. You cannot let other people's impose their opinions and their problems and their situations on you, and you can do what needs to get done in your life. This is a step towards clarity. This is a step towards power, personal power in your life, so that you can be the highest, most valuable person you possibly can be in this world. And you'll love your life because you can be happy at any moment. You can feel joy. You can feel love. You don't get what you want in life. You get who you are. So if you are someone who worries about bills, someone who worries about problems, you're going to get more worries and problems. If you are someone who is happy, joyful, loving, you are going to get happiness, joy, and love, and gratitude, and things to be grateful for into your life. That's what you're going to get, or at least that's what you're going to feel. And then whenever you have these other problems and these other issues, you can say, to whom does this thought arise? Goal is to separate the mind from the self. You are the self. You are not the mind. You are not the issues. You are not the thoughts. You are not the problem. You are just the observer of this experience. And you can detach yourself from all the hectic mayhem, and you can figure out what needs to get done, and you can do it. So you can still use your mind to solve problems and things, or you can just do whatever you want. But you can be in control, and you can see things for how they are because you'll have more reflection. You'll have more contemplation as opposed to getting wrapped up and catching on to every single emotion, every single problem that arises. A good metaphor for this is just the old saying, this too shall pass. Right? So if you have these worries or these anxieties, you can tell yourself, this too shall pass. And the deepest symptom is who you are. So if your thoughts create your reality, if you learn how to control your mind, you will control your reality, and you will be able to control who you are. And you get back from the universe, from life, from the world, who you are. Are you of value? Are you of sound mind? Are you someone worth paying lots of money to, worth talking to, worth investing in? And you can become whoever you want to be because you now can step back from all the thoughts and all the bullshit and all the worries and all the distractions and just say, I want to experience this instead. And then you can go on and you can go experience that with clarity, with purpose. and know that that's what you want to get, and you can lock in on that one thing. And whenever other thoughts arise or other issues, you can ask yourself, to whom do these thoughts arise? I'm doing this. Fuck those thoughts. Fuck those other things. This is what I'm doing. And you can get where you want to go a lot faster in life because you'll have control over your mind. You won't let your mind sweep you away into worries and problems and things that are typically out of our control. We get so worried about the saber-toothed tiger that's going to eat us when those are extinct. We don't have to worry about those things anymore. And we create these fantasies in our mind of all these terrible things that are going to happen when none of them are really going to happen. And when they do happen, we can solve them when they happen. There's no point watching the fucking news. You're not going to do anything. Unless it's like in your neighborhood, then it might be an issue. These are ways on how to control your mind. So let's just recap. Meditation and breathing exercise, amazing, especially if you're just beginning to figure out how to get connected to self and detach yourself from thoughts. But this is just treating the symptoms. Remember, as soon as the breathing exercise and meditation is over, usually your mind just takes back control, takes it back. So then what are you doing? You're finding clarity for those short periods of time. But if you truly want to solve the symptom of who you are, you have to go to the source of your mind. And you have to ask you have to realize whenever you have these thoughts, to whom do these arise? Not you, but they arise to your mind. They pass in front of your mind, and you don't have to grab onto them. You are in control now. You are the creator of your life. You are no longer the monkey brain. You are the superhuman. You are the conscious being alive in this meat suit, in this existence, who can take control of their life, of what they want to experience, of their purpose. And the goal is always to separate self from the mind, okay? Because your thoughts create your reality. And you will be able to control your mind and control your thoughts and control your reality. You'll be able to control how you feel in every situation. And the biggest failure that happens to people, again, it's not the fear, it's not the thoughts, it's not the worry, it's the identification. So if you start to identify as someone who is happy, someone who is grateful, someone who is full of love and energy, that is who you will become. And then you will get that from yourself, from life. You'll get more of it too. We are always growing. We're always expanding. The universe and life and source wants you to grow, wants you to expand, wants you to reach more people, wants you to feel more love, wants you to feel more joy. Or if you want to feel like shit, it wants you to feel, you'll feel more shit. You'll just grow down, or whatever. You'll if you get along with people that are also going in the same positive direction, that's where you want to go. If you get with people that are fucking going down and getting shitty and getting fucked up, that's where you're going to go. So it's all about taking control of your mind and then deciding what experiences you want to experience, and then taking control of your life, your actions, your drive, your purpose, and going and experiencing those experiences. I love this stuff. I'd love to, hear what you guys' opinion is. Leave some comments on the YouTube channel or shoot me a DM or leave me a 5-star review on the podcast. I really appreciate it. And you guys have a good rest of your day. To whom does this podcast arise? Sorry. To whom does this thought arise? This is fucking cool. All right, peace.